What would happen if a Primarch Primarched all over the Primarch? No, just kidding, y'all. It's Connor, and today I'm asking a question to you. Is Warhammer content on YouTube sort of oversaturated, if you will? And what got me thinking about this is I was actually watching a Major Kill video, which is kind of weird to say. Not that I'm like shitting on him. I don't really watch Major Kill all that much. I used to a couple of years ago, but I just kind of like trailed off and just haven't really been watching his videos as of late. But I did watch his tabletop time. One of his most recent videos about this gaming company that does tabletop stuff with models and 40K and all this. And I read a comment that was talking about the kind of financial situation of the company and basically saying how Warhammer content on YouTube has sort of reached a point where it would be considered oversaturated. And it really got me thinking, is Warhammer content on YouTube sort of oversaturated? And it should be an easy question, but I don't really think it is, because if I were to look at Warhammer on YouTube as like a category, I would split it up by like 3 separate subcategories. So there would be like people who like to make the models and paint and do all that, which is not what I'm interested in, and that's not what I talk about either. So I'm not in that demographic. And then there's people who like to do the 6-7 hour long like lore videos, which I like, and I do consume that type of content, either it's like Luton, West Hammer, Ashen Hollow, Amber King, Warrior Tier even. I like all of those YouTubers, and I think they do a fantastic job of just kind of excelling in that category of Warhammer content, right? And you could argue that some of it would be oversaturated, but I don't know if I make that argument. And then the third is people in this third are maybe the tabletop players who do the rules and stuff. And then there's like a little fourth category who post like the excerpts and what would this Primarch do if this Primarch this isn't really a call out to Major Kill, but Major Kill has made videos like this, or like how does this Legion feel about all the other legions? Like, I think that type of stuff does get kind of repetitive and kind of adds to the like saturated nature, I think, of what that commenter was saying. Like, for me personally, and I've done this, so I'm not calling anyone out, except I'm calling myself out. I have absolutely put a Primarch video on, and some of them could have been a lot better. They could have been so much better than they were. They're like 4 minutes, but I knew if I'm putting Primarch in the title of the video, I know it's gonna get views. And is that kind of, I don't think it's shitty of me to do. I don't have a lot of subscribers, or I don't get a hell of a lot of views regularly. So of course I'm gonna try to maximize it, because I want to talk to more people about Warhammer, and I kind of want more people to hear what I have to say. But obviously I would say I know how the game works on YouTube relatively well when it comes to Warhammer, where I'm gonna say Primarch, people are gonna search that up because it's just so overdone. And I know I'm bringing up Major Kill a lot for some reason, but maybe it is just because I'm watching his videos more. He did one on the Phoenix, oh my god, the Phoenix Warriors, or Phoenix Lords for the Eldar. That's not oversaturated because I don't see a lot of content like that. But when I see the 70th Primarch video, yeah, that gets repetitive and it kind of loses its edge. And I'm not saying nobody should ever do Primarch videos. Like, and this is, for example, let's go to the Amber King, who has like these little narrative lore breakdowns and deep dives into all the Primarch characters. I think those are really cool, and they're obviously not overdone because the dude puts a lot of time and effort to find various excerpts and examples that could appeal to people, and they think, oh, this makes Magnus way more interesting, and I didn't previously know he had this interaction with this character. That's fine. But when you post shit like, again, how does this Primarch feel about other legions, or do they deserve redemption, or can they be saved, or what if this Primarch did this, and you say the word Primarch so much it almost sounds like it's not even a real word. And I know that's just I'm sure there are other examples, but that's just the really, really big one for me. I can't obviously speak to a rules perspective for tabletop. Can't talk about any of that. Can't talk about painting, because I don't think painting and assembling models is oversaturated at all. I think that's really cool because I'm not really good at that. And when I look at people do that, I think, oh, that's really sweet and that's cool, because I can't do that. And I think that it's really cool that people can be artistic like that. But Primarks are, it's like ice cream, I like ice cream, and I'm gonna eat ice cream, I'm coming back from the house, it's 3 a.m. and I'm a little, I had a long night and I'm like, I can go for some ice cream. I love ice cream. If I eat ice cream every day, I'm gonna be sick of ice cream. I'm not gonna obviously want to eat ice cream. Or if I see the same 7 excerpts from God Blight about Gilliman being possessed by the Emperor, or Sanguinius's speech, or Dorn's speech, they're fine. But when they're played up in like YouTube shorts and I'm seeing like the same 12, and I'm not shitting on anybody, listen, everyone's got their own way of making content, and I'm really only concerned about how I make content. That's really just about me wanting to get better. I do watch other people's content, and I will, who am I going to lie to? When I see people post, like, let's do Mr. Bones 40K. I brought him up on the channel a lot because I do like his videos. And obviously sometimes when I watch his stuff, I'm like, oh, he did a video about why corn is boring. A part of me is like, I could obviously just do the lazy thing and think corn isn't boring. I don't want to do that, though, because that's like the cheap way out. And but I also feel like, sometimes it's super easy for people in this group who like Warhammer to really just fall into the same categories of Primarks, the same 7 excerpts, or how does this faction feel about this faction? Like, I have news for you guys. It's pretty obvious how each faction feels about each faction. Everybody hates everybody who's not in their faction, and even then, most people in the setting, if you're in the Imperium, you hate everybody who's not really part of your clique. If I'm an Ordos Xenos Inquisitor, I'm not really, down to clown with anyone who's not in the Ordos Xenos. And even then, I still have beef with other Inquisitors. Like, you get what I'm saying? I know it's really fun, and I understand why some people find the appeal of watching the same stuff, because it's easy, it's comfort, it's repetitive, and it elicits some response in your brain that it's like, oh, this is cool, and I like this person, so I'm just going to keep listening to them. I do that all the time. I follow plenty of YouTubers who I've even mentioned here who I've watched the same videos all the time because I just find them comforting. That's fine. But what's not fine is when, you don't grow from that. And I'm taking this as a personal example from me. If I had just kept spamming like the Primark meta, or if I just started posting excerpts and like slapping together images on shorts, I'm sure the channel would grow, but I don't think that would be authentic to me. And I'm not saying any creators not being authentic to themselves, but I'm thinking there has to be a balance, right? There has to be a balance between, did you know Gilliman is the only Primarch who could have possibly led the Imperium because it's his unique skill set? Or did you know Tyberos is almost Primarch size? I think those are fine every now and then. Like, again, the memes and stuff, like the orc Psychonic Field, where if I grab this brush, I can make it into a las gun because I believe. That's not how that works. But when you spam stuff like that into the feed, I think it's just, it is kind of oversaturated sometimes. But it was just more or less, I just wanted to talk about it because I also want to hear other people's opinions. Because again, there are people on here who could even be watching my videos or who watch any other person's videos for Warhammer who have such extensive knowledge on the subject, but for whatever reason, whether they are shy, it's just not, they don't have the time, it's not interesting in them, they won't make a channel. But often, more often than not, us as viewers, not just me as a creator, because I am also very much a consumer of other people's content, I feel as though, from my perspective, there's definitely some aspects to the overall YouTube game where I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of Primarchs, I'm tired of the same, Krieg shovel memes, and I'm there's, sometimes I get it in all fandoms, because I love nerdy stuff, but, if we were to go to, let's go video games, to go Destiny or Baldur's Gate 3, a lot of people beat the same dead joke over and over again, and even the same themes and, whatnot. So when I keep hammering the Primarch point down to the excerpts or any of the real, the same stuff you see about what does this person feel about this, I think that type of content should take a little bit of a break, on Warhammer YouTube, if I'm being honest, because I know I'm guilty of it myself, where I've done the Primarch stuff, because it was like a meta, if you will. I knew it would get me views, but I think people are more creative than they give themselves credit for, and they absolutely can find some more interesting stuff. And that's, again, I don't want to come off like I'm shitting on anybody, because really this isn't directed towards anybody. It's just what I've noticed in general from people I follow and people who I'm sure have seen my stuff. So yeah, long story short, is it kind of oversaturated? Yeah, but everything really in any sort of nerd aspect, you could argue, is. But I think there are some definitive things that should take a break and some other things that definitely should probably be pursued. So that being said, I am interested in what you guys think. Is there some part of Warhammer YouTube video culture that is super oversaturated, or is it fine just the way it is? I am really curious about what you guys think. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and that's it. I'll see you guys later.